Hello and welcome again with one of my other tutorials. And in this tutorial we will be going to draw a horse with pastel pencil, the unicorn, an eraser pencil and a blender. That's all that we will need, and a good piece of dark paper. Any kind of paper will do, as long as it is relatively smooth and dark of color. For this unicorn I've chosen a dark blue, but a dark gray is just as sufficient, just as black or dark green if you want, as long as it's dark enough. I head out with the pastel. It's a white pastel pencil, and for this drawing I start out with the contours of my unicorn, which is it's a stallion with a thick neck, and I want the leg to pop up in front, and the knee is kind of reaching the snout of the horse, and the hoof is bended. Here from the elbow I can see the bottom line of the belly, and also the other leg. So it should be a pretty dimensional action of the stallion, and this is about where the horn is going to be. The stallion has a broad shoulder, and now that I have my contours standing here, I can start out with drawing in the light that hits the horse, and the light is coming from the right. So all I need to do is draw in everything that is quite light, but also what I want to do is get shades. By pressing harder you can get the really whites, and by drawing really soft you get a mid-tone, and that is what is shaping my horse. I've drawn a lot of horses in my days, and you need a good idea of the anatomy of the horse, of course, but by watching closely or by studying pictures of horses you can also get this result, and thereby it's a very good study to get to know the anatomy of the horse, because you are drawing in the lights and you take special care about what you are not drawing in. On the top of the neck there's a thick muscle, so I can really draw that in really white. And also on the shoulder there are a lot of muscles going on. Here we go to the upper arm of the horse, and here on the side I press a little lighter, but on top of the upper arm I press a little bit harder. Also the tip of the knee catches a lot of light, and also the bone that's below that, I'm not sure what the name is, and of course the hoof itself. Here I draw in the side of the leg, but I'm not drawing in everything. I'm leaving out the parts that are in the shadow. Here I'm trying to get the structure of the muscles that are on the shoulder of our stallion. And I simply try to make also this as dynamic as possible because he is lifting up his foreleg. And I'm trying to get as much as muscles as I can out of this. Here on the side of the rib cage, there's also a little bit of light hitting the horse, but I make sure that I leave out the part that is behind the elbow, because there is a lot of shadow. Here on the front of the other leg, the forearm, there is also a lot of light. To draw in the mane, well, that's also a little bit tricky, because partly they catch a lot of light, but also a part is really in the shadow. So I do this by imagination a little bit. So I just try that out a little bit and make the mane look as lively as possible. Even draw in a little bit more mane. Oops. And well, what I really want to achieve is to get a dynamic feel. So the mane should be of another kind of structure than the body itself. But later on we will be using the blender, so we can even get that structure out even better. For the horn, there's also parts that hit a lot of light, and you can see they are in particles. And from the head to the tip, it broadens and narrows down. Okay, now it's blender time, and what I do next is I kind of glue together the pigments of the pastel and to get a feel of skin. I really give as little pressure as possible on the blender, because I do not want to drive in the pigments into the paper, just a little bit. And I want to keep an open structure as much as possible. Here for the side of the cheek, I can blend that together. And also the structure of the muscles are, well, really rough now, so I blend those in together too, to get that soft feel of skin. I also apply it in between the mane and on the shoulder, of course, but I try to keep it as open as possible. After blending, you can always get back to your pastel pencil. Maybe some parts need a little bit more light. Well, that's easy done. You can always go over it again and work out your drawing even farther. You can see the lively mane and the mane top. And well, be careful around the face. Do not work that in all together. Keep the parts out that you do not want to white in, because this drawing is also about what you are not drawing. So keep it open and watch carefully not to work it out too far. The horn needs a little structure too, so I also blender that in a little bit more. And with the eraser pencil you can always drag out a little bit of the white of the pastel. This is the shadow that the ear is casting on the neck and in between the mane. You can also apply the pencil eraser to get a little bit more structure. Here the hoof is a little bit too white, so I simply erase it out a little bit. On the top of the horn there's also a lot of light, so I simply draw that in with the white pastel. What's also very nice to do is to draw in just a little bit of those little hairs that pop out, just to give it that funny look and a little bit more realistic. And here I draw in the top of the back a little bit, but well, I think I will leave it this way. It's fine enough for me. I hope you will try this, and it's a very nice way of drawing, very educational. So I wish you all the luck with it, and I hope to see you again in one of my other movies. Take care, see you next time. Bye bye.